For years, I thought I had nutrition completely figured out, but some of the healthy habits I followed actually damaged my energy, my hormones, and completely destroyed my relationship with food. So in this video, I'm going to be giving you the 10 nutrition habits I regret following so that you don't make the same mistake as me. The first one is skipping breakfast, or otherwise known as intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting is basically where you fast for at least around 16 to 18 hours. So basically you wouldn't be able to eat until around midday, 12, 1 p.m. But if you think about it, when you wake up, your body has already been depleted of food for 8 to 10 hours. So your energy stores are already relatively low. If you continue to fast throughout the day, your body is going to be increasing stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline to maintain your energy throughout the morning. When you wake up, your cortisol is spiked, and in order to lower that spike, you need to eat. So the longer you maintain that cortisol and the longer you maintain that stress hormone, your body is going to have to produce more of it to maintain that same amount of energy. For me personally, I found that skipping breakfast did not work for me. It made my energy unstable, increased my cravings and my likelihood to binge later on in the day, and also it gave me really weird sensitivities to food. My stomach would be really irritable the longer I'd fast for and the longer I didn't eat for. So then when I did finally eat something, my gut got super irritated and it felt like I was building intolerances to food that I didn't have before. But breakfast is just so important. It sets your blood sugar stability for the day and in turn helps to reduce cravings and the chance of you overeating later on in the day. The second one is following a low carb diet. I used to try and minimize carbs as much as possible. Low carb diets can, however, be beneficial for some people. This is also known as the ketogenic diet. Some people who struggle with insulin resistance or metabolic syndrome can benefit from a low carb diet. It can also be really good for sharpening your focus and your concentration and reducing the amount of water that your cells are holding. Carbohydrates are one of your body's primary energy source, especially for exercise and repairing your muscles' glycogen stores. And because I was working out every single day, my low carb diet just wasn't doing it for me and my body simply wasn't getting enough fuel. This led to a low energy availability, which is when your body doesn't have enough energy left over to support normal physiological functions over exercise. Over time, this led to me getting something called amenorrhea, which resulted in the loss of my menstrual cycle because my body had to shut down my menstrual cycle to prioritize sending energy to other areas in my body. So especially if you are regularly active, carbohydrates are really important because they support hormone production, thyroid function, and help with recovery after workouts. They're also really important to have as part of your pre-workout. For your pre-workout, you want to be focusing on getting in simple carbohydrates that are easily digestible so that they get into your bloodstream faster and your muscles can actually then utilize them. The third one is obsessing over low-fat foods. Honestly, I was always so scared of adding healthy fats to my meals. I would try to add as little olive oil to my salads as possible, avoid having avocados because they were too high in fat, avoid anything that was associated with fats. But now I've learned that healthy fats are actually crucial for hormones and just supporting your body. Healthy fats are so amazing for supporting your natural beauty, your hair, your skin, your nails, your energy, and of course, like I already said, your hormones. Some of my favorite sources are avocados, olive oil, nuts, nut butters, and they're so easy to just add on top of your meals. You can even sprinkle some seeds on top of your salad and that will be a great source of extra healthy fats. I also feel like they improve the taste of food a lot. The fourth one is choosing the wrong alternative milks. So for quite a while, I kept opting for oat milk because I personally am intolerant to dairy, so I kept choosing oat milk. Little did I know, I was probably choosing the worst alternative plant milk out there. Oat milk has a really high glycemic index because of its high starch content. That means that when drinking it, you can get a really big blood sugar spike, which again can lead to more cravings throughout the day and lead to you getting hungry much faster and getting these energy crashes. Also, most brands of oat milk are full of seed oils and added sugars, so I just don't reach for oat milk anymore and instead reach for things like coconut milk and almond milk. Personally, I choose coconut milk because I am a little bit sensitive to almonds, but they both have a much higher fat content which reduces the blood sugar spike, and of course I always get them unsweetened. My favorite brands are Plenish and Root Health because they have really minimal ingredients, no added sugars and no seed oils. Also, don't rely on the marketing at the front of the carton of milk. Always look at the ingredients on the back because it might say no added sugar and then the first ingredient may be rapeseed or sunflower oil. Why would you want to be drinking straight up seed oils? Number 5 is snacking on dried fruit. So when I was trying to gain weight, I was snacking on a lot of dried fruit. Now, even though that's good because it's high in calories and it's good for gaining weight, on its own, it's very high in sugar because when fruit is dried, the water is removed and then the sugar is very concentrated. Also, dried fruit is much less hydrating and less filling, so it's really easy to overeat on it. I could easily get through a whole packet of dried mango, which is probably equivalent to like 5 whole mangoes. So now I prefer to prioritize eating whole fruits because they're actually going to fill me up because of the water content, and they contain much more fiber and are less concentrated in sugar. Also, they're actually going to be hydrating you. Habit number 6 was avoiding red meat because I heard that it was carcinogenic. But red meat is actually one of the most nutrient-dense foods available to us. It contains zinc, iron, vitamin B, complex amino acids, and is a really high-quality source of protein. Now, yes, there have been some studies which have linked the consumption of red meat to developing certain health diseases, but it's important to recognize that many of these studies conducted were actually just observations. They weren't controlled lab studies, and they didn't have control on lifestyle factors such as activity, whether they were smoking cigarettes or not, family history of disease. So without that control over pretty much every aspect in their life, it's hard to make these large conclusions and statements about red meat being carcinogenic. We also don't know what the rest of their diet looked like and what type of red meat they were actually consuming, because processed red meat is definitely a lot more different than grass-fed organic red meat. So now if I do eat red meat, I always make sure that it's organic and grass-fed, and I just make sure that I include a variety of foods within my diet to focus on balance rather than demonizing one specific food. Number 7, I fell for this one for so long, but it was thinking that 1 egg was enough protein for breakfast. I used to always just have avocado on toast and 1 egg and think that is so much protein. Let's go, I got my protein in for the day. I was so wrong. In reality, 1 egg only contains 6 grams of protein, and many nutrition experts actually recommend at least 20 to 30 grams of protein at each meal. This is especially important at breakfast. Starting the day with enough protein can really help stabilize your blood sugar, improve satiety, and support muscle maintenance and growth. It also helps you manage your cravings throughout the day better, and one extra thing is that it can actually help control sebum production on your skin, which in turn can help reduce acne. Protein also plays a huge role in regulating hunger hormones, which can prevent snacking in the evening or later on in the day. Now I have multiple extra breakfasts, or I add extra sources of protein like some clean ingredient pork sausages, hummus, hemp seeds. Just don't rely on 1 egg. Number 8 is trusting labels instead of ingredients. One of the biggest lessons I've learned is that food marketing can be very misleading. Just because something says that it's gluten-free or has less sugar doesn't automatically mean it's healthy. Many products use these labels as marketing strategies to entice people to purchase them and think that they are making a healthy choice by buying it, but hiding the fact that it has a highly processed ingredient list on the back with seed oils or other artificial additives. So instead of relying on the packaging, I always read the ingredients first. Generally speaking, the shorter the ingredient list, the better. Number 9 is avoiding salt. So I went through this era in my life where I thought salt was so bad and that I have to minimize it to the absolute minimum and not add any salt to my meals. And while excessive sodium intake can be problematic in certain situations, sodium is actually an essential electrolyte for our body. It plays a crucial role in fluid balance, nerve function, and muscle contractions. This becomes even more important if you exercise regularly because sodium is actually lost through sweat. So avoiding salt completely can lead to things like fatigue, headaches, and poor workout performance. And the last one, habit number 10, is food timing. Now, instead of constantly snacking and grazing throughout the day, I make sure to wait at least 3 to 4 hours in between each meal. This gives my digestive system enough time to fully break down my meals and absorb all the nutrients from them. If you are constantly eating, you are not giving your digestive system a break, and it's not going to be able to break down the foods properly. And also, if you're constantly eating, it's going to be really difficult for you to be able to regulate your hunger signals. At the same time, I try to avoid eating at least 3 hours before I go to sleep. This again allows for better digestion and it allows your body to slow down. This way your body can actually focus on recovery when it's sleeping rather than digestion of your food, which in turn can support much better sleep quality. Those are 10 of the healthy nutrition habits that I wish I never did. And honestly, the biggest thing I've learned about nutrition is that it's not all about following trends or immediately believing what you hear on the internet. It's about understanding what actually works for your body, because what works for somebody else's body might not work for yours. So it's about trial and error and actually learning and aligning with your own body, listening to what works for it, and adapting your lifestyle to live your best and most optimum life. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Comment down below if you followed any of these and regret following them too, or if you currently do one of them and are going to now stop and try to replace it with something new. I hope you have a great day. Bye!